All right, everyone, let's do this for Tuesday, the 29th of August, 2023. Very soon, we're going to have weekly candles, so stay tuned for that on the weekend, where I'm going to go through weekly and monthly candles. That's what I meant to say. We're getting monthly candles on. Again, if you're new here, every day, completely for free, I just give you my thoughts on the market, what I'm watching going into tomorrow, and all of that. If you want to make sure this is emailed directly to you, along with my watch list, and along with a bunch of other screenshots that I won't show here for brevity, go to StatsEdgeTrading.com, sign up for the Substack there. It's just access to my Substack. I send out the email. I don't sell it to anyone or anything like that. So if you're interested, there it is. But without further ado, getting right into it here and starting with Bitcoin. So we have Bitcoin essentially right here. Massive pop today, right? So we came down. I kind of talked about how we had this support area at about 25 or so. That you could, if you wanted to, take a shot against that. I didn't. I like to trade a trend a little bit more. So I have no position in this. I did buy a little bit of Mara just as I saw this happening. But nice pop up here on Bitcoin. But right, we've got this congestion right here above. And so we sold off, consolidated, popped. Wouldn't be shocked if we reverse this. Wouldn't be shocked if we blow right through, right? So this is one of those things where I'm just in kind of wait and see mode. So now we're going to look at dollar yen here, because maybe a little concerning here in dollar yen. I don't know where my drawing went here. Let me grab this and just redraw this. But this is where we broke down from initially in dollar yen in 2022. This is kind of what the overall markets, the equity markets, look like as well, because we broke down from this area. We've climbed our way back up to it, and we have a pretty ugly candle today where we sold up above and then just crashed right back down. If I go into an hourly chart, you can see how kind of violent this was. The reason I know this, I actually bought some of this breakout. It moved a little bit higher. I moved my stop up a little bit and it came down. It cost me, almost a flat, but just a violent move in the other direction. So if that's going to occur and we're actually going to get some weakness in the dollar or strength in yen, that's going to be an interesting look. And how I've expressed that personally is I've been talking about this Aussie yen for a long time, basically coming up against this resistance or prior support acting as resistance now, or prior resistance acting as support in this area in through here for a long time. Then we've bold flagged back down into it. So on a 1 hour time frame, I got a little bit of a chart. I'm showing these 1 hours a little bit more just because people have requested it, because I say I'm going to zoom into a shorter time frame. So the way I looked at this trade is I have this overall bullish stance on this Aussie yen already. So I'm obviously just going to be looking to the long side. We broke out of this little zone. We came back to it today. So as we started to bounce off this, I bought a little bit in through here. So I'm probably going to put my stop under this area right here. And if I'm right, shooting for, if we could make new highs here, that'd be fantastic. Now, if we bounce up a little bit and it looks like we're going to fail and move lower, I'll definitely take some profits there. But really trying to shoot to see if we can get a couple day move, even if we move slowly up into these heights. That's kind of what I'm looking at. So that's how I use a lower time frame for entry and stop loss management to trade in the direction of my overall thesis. So a couple people asked for that. I'll do that more if you're interested. So now let's get into the markets here. Love using this new TradeIdeas web version. You can try for free, and then when you like it, use StatsEdge at checkout to save yourself 15%. But nice, just web version, right? I'm a Mac guy, as you guys can see, and I love that we finally have this. So I talked yesterday about how as long as we were stuck kind of in this range right here, I wasn't really too interested in the market. I expected it to take a few days, but didn't. We just rocketed right up here. So really, to me, we're back in bull mode. So I bought a whole bunch of stuff today. I'll go over some. I bought some Mara. I bought a whole bunch of different names today. Anything could happen. Could be faked out tomorrow and stopped out. Who knows? I think there's some number or something coming out. But it's starting to make this whole pattern just look like a really long bull flag. We had a big push up, and then we just kind of had this nice controlled pullback for a while, and then we're breaking out. So I wouldn't be shocked if we take a run at this right here, these highs. Could happen. Again, whenever I say this is what I think could happen, I fully well know that it could very not, right? That tomorrow we could wake up and we could gap down 10%. I think that's the difference between seasoned traders and new traders. Is I have my theory, I take my shot, but I know full well the market doesn't care about my theory. I put communications in this just to show that there's some good relative strength in communications. We're way closer to this high. People ask all the time how I measure relative strength. One thing I'll do right now, because of that look I showed you on the SPY and how close we were to these highs from a couple months ago, I'm kind of tagging everything versus that high. So you could call it the August high. The closer we are to breaking out over a new August high, the stronger I think we are. Now, even though this one's not very strong, I do kind of like the look of tan here. And with tan, what I'm looking at, if we go and just go to the weekly chart, zoom up a little bit, and we go into the weekly chart here, you can see this, get rid of this, you can see this really important level that we put in two bottoming tails here, and then again, so here and here, we had some bottoming tails, and then maybe a bottoming tail here as well. So with this support, it looks like we're bouncing off this a little bit. And if we're bouncing off this, then it may behoove me to take some time and look at solar names. I didn't see anything come up in my scans, but I'm going to take a little look to see if I can find anything here. And then some names. So some names that I picked up today, Pulte Homes. We talked about this yesterday. It was a pullback to an anchored VWAP on Pulte Homes. Nice look here. I think the anchored VWAP kind of looked something like this, where it was just right underneath here. As we kind of broke this area and it looked like we were holding, the nice little push up is holding really, really strong on that one. So I took that one right. I took that one. And I also took Tilray, TLRY. And with Tilray, basically it was the same thing. The anchored VWAP from the all-time lows kind of looked something like this. So I was saying, okay, this thing might be doing a trend change where, you start to get into an uptrend. I want to kind of participate in that uptrend. So over these highs today, I picked some of this up, hoping we can make it kind of another leg higher. That would be fantastic. The risk reward on these plays are just absolutely nuts. A couple things that I added that I didn't have initially is this GKOS, is it? Yes, every time you see me do this, I've got my laptop over there. I do a lot of my scanning outside the office, and then I come in here to make this video. But we're breaking out of this wedge right here. So we had earnings. Those earnings were positive, and then we're getting this wedge going on, breaking out of that today. So I picked up a little bit, or no, I've added it to the list. So if we get some kind of continuation tomorrow, also New York Times. So we go NYT for New York Times. And it's the same kind of move, right? I love stocks, you probably noticed by now, that put in nice gaps and then they hold that gap, showing that there's at least some institution or someone that is basically looking for, when it pulls in, it holds the gap. I don't like things that close the gap. It just shows that people are willing to bid lower. I want them to bid higher. So, and then it's got this kind of flag going on. So if we break out of here, I like the look of that. And that is it for this week. So, or today. Jeez, the week's only Tuesday. So that's what I'm watching going into tomorrow. Couple names. I filled up on a couple names, as I mentioned, and I'm still holding a couple names that never really got triggered out when things kind of turned sour there. So gonna wait to see what happens with these. As always, if you want updates, you can follow me on all the things. Hit the like and the comment and all that kind of stuff. The algos love that. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow.